They've got to worry about their own reputation.
He does have to worry about his reputation, but right now he's betting his reputation on demanding that employees of Apple Corporation develop something so that he can spy on Americans, likely without our permission. You remember, I listened to your last segment. He isn't asking them to do a brute force attack and give them a thumb drive with information, as one of your guest said. He's actually asking for a back door. He's asking for something that would very much lead to their getting a secret wiretap, pulling the information off your iPhone, and you're never knowing about it. This is very, very scary when your government wants to know more about you, and they're not willing to have you know more about your government. Remember, the State Department could have released all these documents, sans the classified ones, on Hillary Clinton quickly. Instead, they've been dribbing and drabbing them out, and as of today have not even released to Congress all of her email. And yet, in order to make life easy for them, they want a tool developed, and they're in court using a 240-year-old law to try to force a private enterprise to do something for the government so the government can sneak and peek into your iPhone.
Yeah, this is really important because it comes down to, is it just one phone that we're talking about, or are we talking about creating a backdoor so that government can listen in and snoop on people's conversation? You say it's a backdoor. Tim Cook says it's a backdoor, and yet, you know, the FBI is saying, no, this is all we want them to do is hack into this one phone. I mean, which is it?
Well, first of all, there's nothing unique.
And is it time for Congress to step in here?
It's time for Congress to define what in this era would be allowed and not allowed under the Fourth Amendment, and then have it tested by the courts. You can't rely only on a law created at the time of our founding. But for your viewers, let's just understand, if what you want to do is find the hard drive, solid-state hard drive that lies inside the iPhone, and you want to take the encrypted information and you want to get it out, anyone of ordinary skill in the business I used to be in can copy that drive and make 1 million copies of it. So now when it comes to brute force attack, there's no question. You've got 1 million copies. They may self-destruct after 10 tries, but you can make as many new copies as you want. So brute force attack, if you're willing to disassemble the phone, is certainly possible. And I calculate it could be done in 80 or 90 hours. And we're talking about by the slowest means. The reality, though, is they want a tool that is usable easily and quickly. And in this case, it's been a long time since San Bernardino. If they'd wanted to get the information by a brute force attack, they would have already had it. It appears as though that's not their goal. They want something more, and they're using this as a test case. And it's terrible to use the bodies of victims in order to try to get something that you're otherwise likely not to get.
Yeah, and people do not trust that government will use this responsibly. We know what they've done with the IRS. They used the IRS to target conservatives who didn't agree with them.
You're exactly right. And when you look at these two, if you will, non-conventional candidates that are ahead in many cases for president, one of the reasons is, on both the left and the right, the American people do not trust their government. And for good reason. As hard as some people have tried to make government accountable, they've got a long way to go to get back to where they were 20 years ago, 30 years ago. You know, we're in a government where, since 9/11, your government knows a lot more about you, and you know a lot less about your government.
Yeah. Real quick, Congressman, is it possible that the NSA and the CIA can't get this information? Only Apple can get it?
It's not only possible that the NSA could assist and get the information, but there's an advantage to the NSA getting it. If our clandestine industries develop tools and get them, the advantage is the bad guys don't know it.
Right.
If this court order forces it, then the Chinese and all the other nations of the world not only will know the tool exists, but they'll begin demanding it.
Bingo.